And get started. Alyssa has been on our board of directors for years, and we've been lucky to have her. And I know she's super involved there in Minneapolis. So I'll turn it over to you, Alyssa, and let you explain about your chapter a little bit and where you've come from and what your goals are for the future.
Sure, thank you. And I see Janine just jumped on. So she is our current chapter leader. Very busy this week though, so she wasn't sure about attending. So Janine, you jump in if I miss something, but our Minneapolis chapter, we've been, was thinking of this earlier. I was part of our original crew that formed our chapter. It was great in that it didn't take us long to get to our starting 10. We grew very organically and have been very much with the mission that we, as much as, and we're in a networking session now, as much as we love networking, we love that everyone that comes to our chapter embraces that we are here to do community good and to promote the purpose and mission of Aging in Place. We have lots of different diverse backgrounds and groups that we also collaborate with. We are very fortunate here that we also have had our local AAA that's been involved in our council as well. So we hover around 20 members, so we're not a huge group, but we really appreciate that the size of our group, we get very close and know each other well. My background is more in the home modifications, but I work well with some of the people that are in that area as well. So we, and again, we've been around it's been about 10 years.
Perfect. Thanks, Alyssa.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. Skip will be the first member that we feature. I know he's working today, so since he's able to talk to us, we'll get started with you, Skip. So take it away.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I run a small company that my wife started in 2002. It's called In-Home Lab Connection. And here in the Twin Cities metro area, we do in-home blood draws. So the patient doesn't have to go to the clinic or the hospital just to get a blood draw and get the results back to the doctor. You can imagine we have tripled our business during COVID in terms of people not wanting to go into the clinic or the hospital just for a blood draw. So it's a very small business, only a few part-time phlebotomists, but we get called as backup to home care nurses that can't get a stick. We'll go out and send our phlebotomist, we'll get the blood draw and get it to the lab, get the results back to the doctor. So it's a very unique thing my wife saw in 2002, and I'm running the business now.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing, Skip. I don't know if you saw ahead of time, we're asking all of the highlighted presenters to share 2 holiday traditions that are true and one that is not true. And everyone's going to try to guess. Were you able to prepare your questions? Did you have something to share with us today?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Okay.
Do I put that in the chat, or where do I put that?
Well, if you have anything you just want to share with us, a holiday tradition that you just want to share, that would be great.
Well, we try to get all of my extended family does live here in the Twin Cities. So the tradition that we're
He
we're not going to be able to keep this year is about 30 people for Thanksgiving.
Well, you froze a little bit there. We didn't quite hear it, but I think you said you usually have 30 people together and you aren't able to get together this year. Got it.
Yeah, our extended family comes over for both Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it's usually 30 people here in the Twin Cities, but this year we're going to drive the food to them.
Oh, that's nice. Well, thank you, Skip, for joining us today and for sharing.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. And we'll move on to Andy next. Hi, Andy.
Hello. How is everybody? Awesome. I mean, I know how Minnesota people are doing. We're pretty happy. So, yeah, I wasn't sure. You know, I saw the 3 to 4 minute presentation, so I quick threw together like a PowerPoint. But I'm like, do I really need to show it? I mean, either way, I will share it since I put it together.
Let me allow you to share. Did that
I
work?
think I can. Yeah, I think I can share it. Let me just get to the right screen here. Goodness. Here we go. Oh, no, you guys all went away. Okay, here we go. Share. Share. Okay. Can you guys all see this? Perfect. So, obviously the Minnesota or Minneapolis chapter, you guys all know me, but I am Andy Gansbo with Expand Incorporated and Homes of Excellence. We are a residential general contractor, and we also have a division called Inclusive Design. A little bit about us. Why is this not starting? Maybe it's going. Maybe I shared the wrong screen. I don't really know. Anyways, so we are a general contractor, like I said, with a division called it's living in place or aging in place or progressive disease, where we come in and modify homes. I know Alyssa and I have worked together on previous projects with previous employers, or you know, through the networks, which has been fun. And now we're on the same team at an NAIPC. Come on. Again, we do kitchens, bathrooms, whole home renovations, new construction, and pretty much everything in between. Right now, we've got a plethora of projects from kitchen remodels to big additions to a couple of new constructions, a bunch of bathrooms, some kitchens, etc. A little bit about the company. It was founded in 2004 by Jess Moding, built on referrals and repeat clients pretty much ever since. Custom remodels includes living in place. Again, typically it's bathrooms and kitchens and just environments at this point. We've done some really cool multi-generational remodels for elderly parents or just, you know, progressive disease. We are county waiver certified. And I have been personally working with Expand in some capacity for, 14 years almost, well, since 2007. So I was a lumberyard sales rep for 7 years before I joined the team in 2015. Then we have our new construction side, which was started in 2015 because of the increase in requests for custom new construction homes. We have built some really interesting like villa styles. We call them our no step houses because you can literally just roll right in the garage and roll right into the house, whether you're in a wheelchair or, you know, you don't handle steps very well or whatever the challenges may be. We also have in-house design and drafting services. Here's a couple of pictures. We did this. This is a condo in Minnetonka, and then this was part of an addition for a gentleman who had ALS. We did a really big. It was about a 6'8" by, I think 6'8" by 6 foot shower with a mono slope, and so it just hung right off the back of the house where we did the addition. And then there was a chair lift that mounted to the ceiling, so he could go right from his hospital bed into that space. And I think we added about 650 square feet to that house. So again, it's a kind of a short, sweet little presentation today. And I got to figure out where my other screens went, or maybe you can stop the share. But that's a little bit about us.
Okay, and you know, we weren't able to see anything other than that main presentation, so.
Oh, was it out? Maybe it was on the right screen.
Yeah, so
Oh.
if you want to send that to us, then I can send it out to everyone that was on the call.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can certainly do that. But
Okay,
thank you guys.
great. Do you have some traditions you want to share with us?
Yeah, so every year my family, we've owned this property up in I think it's Jenkins. It's between Aiken and Jenkins up in northern Minnesota. And every year we go up and cut down our Christmas tree. This year will probably be a little bit different, but that's typically what we're doing. And then for Christmas Eve, we always go to my in-laws' house or a friend of theirs. That's kind of the tradition for Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, we'll head over to my family's house in the Eastern Metro here in the Twin Cities. So that was my three.
Great. Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing. So we have one more highlighted speaker before we go into our first breakout room, and that is the lovely Amy Miller. So Amy, it's all yours.
Thanks. So hopefully I'm not going to repeat myself too much. I have a business called Our Family Encounter. And so what we do is end of life planning, but it's not just the basic three, which you think of as being the legal, the financial, and the healthcare. People think they get those three done, they're good. I add in housing. So if you can't live at home, where else would you live? Also socialization, which I'll touch on in a second here, and funeral planning. For whatever reason, nobody talks about funeral planning ahead of time. And then the last one is legacy. So what's the stories you want to share with your family? And then what are some of those things I think many of us think about, which is passing on, getting the passwords and how do you, close things up and sell your house and get rid of your stuff. So it's kind of that holistic conversation with the family as they're making that transition. But now going back to the socialization, as everyone knows, Thanksgiving's coming. And my big request is I use video conferencing for my family meetings. But what I'm finding is that a lot of seniors are not used to using video conference. And yet families are spread all over the place. So I'm kind of hoping this Thanksgiving, everyone will take a moment, work with their moms and dads or their clients, and teach them how to use video. So we all had to learn how to use video conferencing. It's not the easiest thing to download. If you've never done a download before, it's sometimes a little confusing, can be very challenging. And then seniors get frustrated and they just don't want to do it. They're just done. But if there's a way that you could either personally go in and just set it up for them and then just say, okay, hit this button with the camera on it and they're on. Now the thing is, people get confused with Zoom, Blue Jeans, Duo, GoToMeeting, FaceTime. I mean, there's how many? What I would say is FaceTime and Duo, which are on your phones, your Android or your Apple device, those are great for one-on-one. So if you're just going to have a one phone call with somebody else, perfect tool for that. But if you want to, let's say, have Thanksgiving dinner and you want to bring everybody in on that call, I would recommend using this Zoom, or another one that Verizon has is called Blue Jeans. So those are two great tools. I actually like Blue Jeans better for seniors because it literally is one touch. You don't have to do the join call, download, activate video. I mean, there's like 3 touches just to get on a Zoom. With Blue Jeans, it's literally one button and you're on. I'm also putting a request that people do it on their cell phones in addition to their laptops and iPads and their computers. Reason being is then they have access to video conferencing wherever they are. That and also gives them like a secondary option if, let's say, the computer goes down or runs out of juice, they can switch to their phone. What's the other little tidbit I need to share? Yes, I think just the biggest thing is trying to get seniors on, and not just to stay in touch with family, but it's for telemedicine. That I think is going to be a crucial, this winter, that will be crucial for families. Reason being is, and I think I might have shared this before, when, I don't know if any of you have had to go to the doctor within the last 6 months, but what happens is the patient goes in and everyone else is sitting in the parking lot. And when your loved one comes out, they may not remember what was said in the meeting. Well, we're used to having someone go into that appointment with your loved one. They can do that. Now you think, okay, that's going to be a HIPAA violation. It's not, as far as I've been told by attorneys, if the senior activates the call. So if the senior can activate the call and connect with you in the car, then that conversation can happen in front of the doctor, but the doctor cannot initiate the call, if that makes sense. So that's something that that's the reason why we want to try to get our seniors to kind of get over that fear of technology. And that's kind of my ask to everybody as you're going to be spending Thanksgiving, is to get that time with them and either put it right on their phone for them, or to show them how to do it. Oh, and my Christmas.
Yeah, I have your poll. Let me pull up your poll. I am technologically advanced on this one. Here we go. Pick which one is not Amy's tradition.
Love the poll. Wow. Guys.
Trying to be interactive.
You just have to show us up, baby.
I think number 2 is not true.
Let's see.
She does not love bacon cookies.
We have to see what the poll says.
Did
huh?
it share?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what most people say.
Correct. Okay, so let me see now if I can go into our first round of breakout rooms. So I'm going to do, there are 16 of us, so we'll do 3 rooms with 5 in each. So if there is not someone from the Minneapolis chapter in your room to be the moderator will be the one with the shortest first name. So your role is really just to keep the conversation rolling and let everyone introduce themselves. And if there's extra time, you can all also share a holiday tradition, one true, one false. And we'll see you back here in the main room for the next 2 speakers. And fingers crossed that I am doing this correctly.
Thanks, Tara.
Good luck. Tara.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. How come when I met you for the first time, you didn't say your pronunciation was Tara?
It's actually Tara, but I answered Tara. I've answered the worst.
Which one is it?
Sorry.
No, it's funny
Tara.
because it's which one?
Tara.
Tara. That's what I was calling you. But
Yeah.
my wife's uncle's girlfriend goes by the name Tara, and it's Tara, and she's from Canada. And she's like, no, I'm Tara. I'm not Tara.
Oh,
So when Janine was like, I was confusing Janine and saying, oh, is it Tara or Tara? So thank you, Tara. I
Yeah.
will tell you by the right pronunciation.
yeah, I'm a Southern girl, so
I have another person in my life and she pronounces it Tara and is very deliberate about pronounce. So I was like trying to be kosher.
Names are very personal, very important.
yeah.
So true.
Well, thanks for everyone that has come back into the main room. We are going to get started. We have two more presenters, Alyssa and Annette. So I will go ahead and let Alyssa take it over.
I'm just going to say goodbye. I have to go to another appointment and I apologize for interrupting. Hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving. Stay safe.
You too. Thanks for
And see you
coming.
next month.
Bye, Gina.
Thank you.
Bye,
Okay.
Gina.
Bye, Gina.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tara. David, I could say David.
Or David.
David, I'm laughing because we were actually, when we were waiting for this to start, we were having the conversation of Tara or Tara. And then,
Really?
yeah, so it was funny when you said that, I'm like, we just talked about this. And I said, as I'm digressing here, and with Allison on here, so I'll date myself. I grew up in the 70s and no one else was Alyssa. And even though they could say Melissa perfectly fine, they could not say Alyssa. And I was Allison, Alicia. To this day, I have a cousin, David, who still calls, to just get my gander up, he calls me Alish or Alicia all the time. And then people will say, I thought her name was Alyssa. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So,
and
it's
because
funny you
we're
brought
both
that up.
OTs, I get confused for you sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. So, well, and Tara, we do have a couple other Minneapolis people that have joined. So I'll just go briefly because I want to give them an opportunity to have some time. Tara mentioned before, I've been one of the founding members of the Minneapolis St. Paul chapter. I've been on the board. So I'm delighted by seeing all of these new things that we're doing, being able to connect. We've been doing different calls and things over the years, but just hearing somebody's voice and seeing them and interacting it's much different. And this is very fun. My background, and I'm seeing and hearing from a lot of them here, is I have both an interior design and an OT background. I'm a universal design and accessible design specialist. For those of you in the industry, you know why I always say those two things differently. And that bothers me when people lump accessible and universal design together, but that's a whole nother session. But my company is Livable Home Solutions. We do universal and accessible design consulting. We work with people of all ages and abilities. At this time, most of our clients come to us from a disability waiver through Medicaid, or in Minnesota, we always have to be different. We call it medical assistance here. But we work with people that are getting funding from waivered services. So we do the home modification assessments, come up with a plan to justify the funding, and then put a work scope and any necessary drawings together. And we partner with people from all across the industry. But I think Annette said it earlier, one of the things that's really important to me is I might go out to just do the home assessment and the client's going to ask me 50 questions that have nothing to do with what I do, but they need help. They need help, they need direction. And we're all seeing that even more so now during the pandemic. Like, I don't know who to go to. I don't know where to go. A client I'm working with today, last night, emailed me, said, just because you know so many people, I have a hospital bed that we want to donate. Who can I get it to? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, but I'll ask. And so of all the things, for those of you that are new to the council or that are have been around for a while, one of the most valuable things is our connections and our personal experiences that we can quickly call and say, hey, Amy, I have a client that needs this, and they feel comfortable being able to do that. So that's one of the greatest values. So I'll pass on to Janine if you.
Well, let's do your poll first real quick. Let's see if I can pull up your poll. There we go.
Did you guys create this poll before the thing began and just like submitted it?
Yes.
It was all
great.
Tara.
Oh,
I'm
nice one.
trying something new.
So much more professional than me.
Love that, Tara. That's good. Good innovation.
Thanks.
As expected from you by now, my dear.
Thank you. Can you see the results?
Yes,
Is that accurate? Were we right?
that is correct. We are a real tree family here, so
I mean,
That
you're
is
from
great.
Minnesota, right?
correct.
I hope you're a real tree family. You know, with Andy and his share before, my family would go up to Vermont and we would crawl into the woods and pull out a tree when I was younger. Because even though I'm Jewish, we did like celebrate with a tree just because we were like that kind of Jewish.
Yeah.
But so I definitely hits home because I don't do that anymore. And I miss going down to the forest and cutting down a tree.
Yes, it's nothing better than that.
Just to
Although-
share with you, David, I grew up in Vermont, so I know what you're talking about.
Love it.
Although I don't know, the trees miss it. Playing on the other devil's advocate here.
So Amy, you have the Vermont bear. There's a special bear in Vermont.
No, I grew up in Vermont, so I can totally relate to the tree cutting. But
I
that's,
thought maybe you would know about the bear.
oh, the bear?
The special Vermont bear, like a unique
Yes.
species.
You
The-
mail this stuffed bear to people if you're from Vermont.
That's
It's
actually
like
my
special gift.
stepbrother's wife's family's business.
Really?
Hey,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Vermont Teddy Bear Company.
Yes.
Wow.
I always wanted one. I never got one.
Hey, Amy, could you help out with that?
I've always wanted one too, and I never got one.
What?
Okay, well, do we want to switch over to Annette real quick and then we'll see who else we can get through on Minnesota?
Okay, great. So I am an aging in place consultant and I'm going to focus on scope of work. I'm very good at doing space planning and creating solutions for problems. And so if anybody ever wants to unite with me, I would like to just stick to my specialties. I actually wanted to elaborate on the mission of being a part of a whole. I like that idea that our association actually is using every one of its members as much as possible. I believe the benefits of being a part of this association is that together we can learn about new products that are out on the market before, like if I just looked them up and researched myself, I wouldn't have as much knowledge as when we have these networking groups, we can actually ask each other, hey, you know, what about this product that's out there? Is that a good product or a bad product? I've learned a lot through, you know, other associations. And I think the best way of us using our association is to gain knowledge and learn from each other. The discussions and the roundtables that we can have together, we can actually bring up some common solution, you know, problems and then come up with solutions together. I think roundtable discussions are an awesome way to share our resources. And I believe that if we refer each other out and we specialize more in our individual businesses, I believe that you can use a machine for all of its parts as a whole versus just trying to use that machine on your own. I believe that if we all worked harder every day diligently of how can we use our resources through our association, we'll build that community of people that can age in place. We're going to be using it so effectively that we'll build awareness. So we can either throw one rock in the river and make one ripple, or we can take a handful of us and throw us all together on a client and say, here's our specialties, and we can make an impact. And the more we grow the awareness, the more resources and products that will come available to us as a whole. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And let me pull up your poll because you had some interesting things here, Annette. Here we
I have to be
go.
creative.
Oh, this one's a landslide.
Okay.
See. Is that accurate?
No, it is not.
Wow.
You tricked us.
Which one was right?
The one that was right is I have not been able to do every Bonspiel. I've only been able to experience one Winter Carnival Bonspiel.
Oh,
Awesome.
I got it right.
Oh,
you
micro
curl though, right,
distinction.
Annette?
Pardon?
Annette, you do curl though, right?
Right.
Yes.
I
Okay.
curl and I'm official. I'm an official. So
Got it.
I actually have been a part of the Olympians trials to go to the Olympics.
Wow.
Oh,
I've been
so
trained by the Allison, who is one of our Olympians, and I've got autographs of all of them on my curling sweatshirt.
Very cool.
wow, that's awesome.
How,
And you
how
like
long
work?
how long you been curling for?
A long time. I started in high school in our athletics in Wisconsin because they were one of the original curling clubs. And then when I moved to St. Paul, I was at the YMCA and I heard that there was a curling club. And I'm like, hey, I haven't curled since high school. And then I became a member right away.
That's
So
so
for a
fun.
long time.
Nice.
Very neat.
Well, do we have any other Minneapolis members who would like to speak? I'm not sure who else is part of your, Allison, you're part of the chapter, yes?
I'm part of the new Northwest Metro chapter, so I'm not part of the Minneapolis chapter.
Okay.
She's a distant cousin. So
Got it.
Yes, I know a lot of these guys. I got recruited to the new one up north because I live up here.
Well, I know Ginny's on the phone, and she's one of our members in the Minneapolis location. She found a little space in her busy day to join us.
Nice. Jenny, do you want to say hi? Are you there? Maybe.
She's muted.
well, and she was in our chat room, so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
speak on her behalf. So Ginny is one of our, I think she's an originator too. She is the director of an adult day center here in Minneapolis. So when she's able to join us, she's usually full PPE because they are active. So we are always hats off to Ginny, but she's also brings a really valuable piece there. It's an adult day center that also has, right now they can't mingle or integrate, but they also have a childcare center on site. So it's very cool. Pre-COVID, all the things that they got to do, trying to do intergenerational. And then Jenny brings a great perspective, just her experiences. Obviously, the members at her adult day center or participants are still living at home. And so she has many members that are participants that have been there for years that now their adult children are looking for aging in place resources. And so love Jenny. She's a really valuable resource for us.
Yes. And isn't she the one that always gets us a table at the
Yes.
University of Minnesota
they have an annual caregivers conference that we have a pretty
Yes.
renowned program where they do a caregiver conference not this year they didn't, but every spring in June they do a conference just for caregivers of dementia, family members and loved ones with dementia. It's a fabulous conference, and Ginny is a big part of planning that and then participating in it with us as well.
Yeah. I was able to man one of the booths one year with her. And it was a really great experience to be with the community and to hear the different experiences that everybody's is having, and letting them know that we have resources for all of the needs that are really necessary for caregivers and families dealing with loved ones living with them with dementia. So Jenny is a great member. So thanks, Jenny, if you can hear us.
Nice. Well, we were going to do one more round of breakout rooms, but it looks like it's mostly Minneapolis. So maybe if Kelly, Ronnie, Maureen, and David want to just say a quick hi to everyone. I know you've talked to some people already in the breakout rooms, but you just want to give us a shout out and maybe share a tradition, since that's our theme.
Sure. I'm Maureen Raffa from Chicago, and we always spent my side of the family, the O'Neill side of the family, on Christmas Eve. And then it just worked out, even after we all got married, that it was fine to do Christmas Day then with the in-laws. And so this year, we're not sure. We're not even talking about Christmas yet, but at Thanksgiving, we're pretty much just sticking to our own and not getting together as a larger group, just to play it safe.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Kelly?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kelly Mizell. I'm part of the Rochester Finger Lakes chapter. We are newly founded, probably about 5 months now, and I'm the membership chair. I have background in sales and marketing, so that's what I do for Living Well Companion Care, non-medical companion company that I represent in Rochester. And family tradition, thank you, Amy, about the blue jean, because my nieces and everybody has scattered, and my mom hosts us all for many, many years since the kids were babies, making Christmas cookies. So I am in charge this year of trying to gather everybody from different states and time zones all together so that we can get on Blue Jean, which we're going to try, so we can all be together and still make cookies. So that's what we're going to do this year.
Nice.
Nice. Ronnie, do you want to say a little something?
Yeah, we'll talk about Thanksgiving. Normally for years and years, I live in Atlanta, and for many years would just go to Rhode Island, where I'm from, and the whole family, my sister, brother, and their spouses, and my parents would gather. So, but after their death, I many years ago would just have Thanksgiving here. Last year I had it in Charlotte, where my brother moved to, and this year my sister, brother, their spouses, and I are going to do Thanksgiving via Zoom. It's the newest tradition.
Nice. And last but certainly not least, Dr. Newman.
Thanks for that. All is well. So I posted my short book in the chat there. Just see, I've seen a few of you guys online before here, so it's all good. But I'm a huge advocate, as you know, of keeping elders active and feeling less pain and staying social and independent. So I'm getting like beaten down by my wife, because I booked a trip to Colorado for Christmas, and she's all like, I'm not going. And my kids are like, come on, we're going, because we're avid skiers, and over Christmas we usually go skiing somewhere. And so I don't know, I'm getting some backlash from the wife, but we'll see how things play out, if there is any flying by December 20th or whatever it is. And just really happy to see all you guys in chat. It's nice to stay social and to connect. So yeah.
Oh, well, thanks for.
David, where are you from again?
I'm New York City guy. I grew up in Westchester County, New York, which is like an hour north of New York City.
Right.
but I trained in Brooklyn, New York, and then I kind of been here ever since. Oh, I was in Philadelphia for 1 year, but yeah.
I was just wondering if Colorado was drivable for you. It is, but it would take a long time.
Vermont is drivable, and I'm going up there no matter what to get my ski stuff because I have a house up in Vermont. But they are like, like are a yellow, orange, red. They're like blue, meaning they're like over red. I just saw this infographic today, and like they have gone up like 300% in the last 3 weeks, and it's just, Northeast ski resorts are shaking and crumbling, and it's just bad. It's just bad stuff out there. So I'm going to Vermont anyway to get my stuff, and who knows if I'll make it to Colorado or not. So it is a flight, and it was a cheap flight too. I was like, I couldn't believe right into Aspen from New York, which is always 2 flights, or 99% of the time is usually crazy expensive. But this year it was like a third of it. And so I'm like, I had to just go for it. But who knew that COVID would still rear its head like it did or is?
I was saying earlier, if I was in my early 20s and still very careful, I would be flying everywhere. It is so cheap to travel. It is so cheap. But
so New York City schools just went all remote for public school. And I got 3 kids in this public school system. So, maybe I will drive out to Colorado and just stay out there a longer period of time.
Yeah,
Maybe.
because working at home and school at home is anywhere.
True.
I have a daughter that lives in Manhattan, and they actually drove to Colorado this summer and spent 6 weeks because they could work in Colorado as easily as New York.
Beautiful.
And he has a brother that lives in Denver, so
made it easy.
Yeah, well, they've been keeping their bubble very small.
I drove to Michigan for the first time with my family this summer because my kids were home from camp. They didn't have camp, and so we had to do something. So I went up to Traverse City for a week. It was really awesome. It's nice up there.
Beautiful up there.
Yeah.
Did you do the wineries off the old peninsula?
I had my kids with us and there's some other. We did some cherry picking stuff. We did the PG rated stuff. But yeah.
Cherry capital of the world.
Yeah, I did not know that until I was there in the heart of it.
Well, we are just coming up on 1 o'clock, so we will close the session for today. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks, David and Ronnie. You two are always on our virtual networking events. I really appreciate it and like seeing your faces. And thank you to everyone that's been participating in the LinkedIn group page. And we're really trying to boost that up. So please feel free to share your own personal information. If you have events, if you've written white papers, if you just have little snippets that you'd like to share. Gina Knight, who left earlier, she has little videos that we share on our national page. And even on Facebook, we have 3,000 followers. That's a lot of eyes that see our posts. So please be sure to share that information with us because it's as much about supporting you all as it is about supporting the organization. Just a couple announcements for you. December 4th, San Diego is hosting their monthly meeting, and they wanted to send out an open invitation to any of the members. They're trying a new agenda. They're a new program. They're going to have a case study where a professional from each of the pillar will be addressing the case, and then they're going to open it up for discussion to see if there were anything that was missed or any ideas that could have helped the senior a little bit more. So if you'd like to participate in that, let me know. I think that's how they're going to start running their meetings, and maybe Orange County is going to start that structure as well. And if you guys have any ideas on 2021 programming that you would like to see for you as a professional, but also as seniors, that's something that we're planning right now on a national level. So please send me your ideas on that. The board, we are electing a new board. You'll be getting an email in December with the new nominees. So please be sure to respond to that. It's also a great time to get involved a little more in the organization if you're looking, whatever your personal preferences are. If you want more marketing, then join us for marketing. So I'm happy to help you in any way to get the most out of your membership. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Sarah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.